For over 40 years, Merkrete has been dedicated to providing architects, contractors, and building owners with the most uniquely diversified and innovative product line in the industry. Merkrete has successfully supplied the building industry with over 1 billion square feet of tile and stone installation systems backed by our commitment to quality and revolutionary research.
Merkrete Hydro Guard-1 is a thin, load-bearing crack isolation and waterproof membrane. With excellent elongation properties, Hydro Guard-1 provides a 100% waterproof membrane while limiting the transfer of substrate cracks to the finished overlay. Hydro Guard-1 can be used in commercial and residential applications as well as other areas requiring positive waterproofing such as pools, spas, kitchens, shower stalls, and a variety of floors such as ceramic and stone tile. This membrane can be installed over sound substrates, vertical or horizontal, interior and exterior. The Hydro Guard-1 has approval from the International Code Council as a waterproof shower pan liner, seen in Evaluation Service Report 2619. The waterproof membrane also maintains an IAPMO, report number 4073, and meets or exceeds tile industry requirements for ANSI A118.10 and ANSI A118.12. Prior to the application of the Hydro Guard-1, there are a number of factors that need to be considered. All surfaces must be between 40 degrees to 95 degrees Fahrenheit and structurally sound. The deflection should not exceed L360 of the span. The substrate needs to be dry, clean, and free from oil, paint, old adhesives, sealers, curing compounds. When necessary, mechanical scarification is always best for the concrete. When bonding to a plywood substrate, for interior use only, the face grain is perpendicular to the joists. Tightly butted panels typically lead to installation failures. Always have a proper substrate offset. A sealant needs to be pressed into the joint, coating the sides and leaving the joint flush with the substrate surface. After the sealant is dry, skim coat the plywood substrate with a Merkrete latex modified thinset before the application of the waterproof membrane. Let it dry. Next, apply a liberal coat of Hydro Guard-1, 30 mils, around the joints, cracks, and protrusions. Embed Merkrete 8-inch reinforcing fabric into the wet Hydro Guard-1 at these locations. Apply a second coat of Hydro Guard-1, 30 mils, sandwiching the reinforcing fabric. Finally, 2 coats of the Hydro Guard-1 can be applied to the full field of the dry skim-coated latex modified thinset, letting the waterproof membrane dry in between coats for a total dry mill thickness of 40 mils. A wet film mill gauge should be used to check the thickness of the membrane during installation. Once dry, the floor is ready for thinset, tile, and grout. Hydro Guard 2000 also exceeds the new requirements for a membrane used in steam rooms in the TCNA handbook. We're going to be applying the Merkrete waterproofing and crack isolation membrane Hydro Guard 2000 with the reinforcing fabric in a typical shower stall installation. Once again, preparation is the key to a successful application. A shower stall mortar bed needs to have the proper slope of 1/4 inch per foot. We'll be showing 2 accepted mortar bed methods, one with a typical 1/4 inch per foot slope to the drain and another with a more pronounced slope at the drain location, which we will refer to as the divot method. Both will have the Hydro Guard 2000 and reinforcing fabric applied to them, but with slight variations at the drain. When selecting drains for this application, they must be of the clamping ring type with weep holes. The drains should be even, level, plumb, and fully supported without movement. When installing backer board in the shower area, there are a few things to take into consideration. Make sure to use corrosion-resistant screws. Placement of the bottom edge of the backer board will depend on the type of backer board selected. Working from back to front, apply a liberal coat of the Hydro Guard 2000 into the corner of the shower. Cut a piece of the 8-inch reinforcing fabric to create a right angle at each corner of the shower stall. Press the reinforcing fabric into the corner and embed the fabric into the wet waterproof membrane. cover the reinforcing fabric with a second coat of Hydro Guard 2000, making sure there are no pinholes. Continue applying the Hydro Guard 2000 and reinforcing fabric along the perimeter and up the walls of the shower. Next, apply a liberal coat of Hydro Guard 2000 around the drain clamping ring. Embed Merkrete reinforcing fabric into the wet Hydro Guard 2000. Next, apply the second coat of Hydro Guard 2000, sandwiching the reinforcing fabric. Once the perimeter and drain are complete, 2 coats of waterproof membrane and reinforcing fabric can be applied to the full field of the shower floor. The waterproof membrane will be applied in the same manner as described above for the divot method, with the exception of the drain area. Strips of overlapping reinforcing fabric will be used to waterproof the divot method drain area rather than 2 fitted pieces as described earlier. The increased slope near the drain lends itself better to this type of application method. We're now continuing the application of the Hydro Guard 2000 and reinforcing fabric over the shower curb or dam. Make sure the dam slopes toward the shower drain. The reinforcing fabric needs to be applied on the entire surface of the shower dam and extend a minimum of 3 inches over the outside of the shower dam. Pay close attention to the inside and outside corners of the shower dam when applying reinforcing fabric. After the Hydro Guard 2000 is dry, set the upper clamping ring onto the Hydro Guard 2000 membrane with a continuous bead of sealant, making sure not to block any of the weep holes.
From underlayment material to grouts, thin sets, waterproofing, crack insulation, and sound control systems, Merkrete has the building materials you need. And with our sophisticated product line and innovative application techniques, it's all possible. Merkrete, providing solutions to your building challenges.